Welcome to yet another FPL video, but this time we are live. And the other day we did do a UCL Fantasy live stream, and thank you to everyone who tuned in for that. I really do appreciate it. But if you have any comments, any suggestions, any questions, then leave them down in the live chat right now, and I'll be answering every single one of you, just like I did the other day. And there were hundreds of you commented the other day, so thank you very much. And without further ado, let's get into this. Kufal or Masuaku? To be honest, that's a tough question, Ahmed, but thank you for the comment. I would say Kufal. I did go for him myself, as you can see here. The thing with Masuaku is, to be honest, he has the better attacking threat, but Kufal is also very consistent. You can't go wrong either way, and Masuaku is slightly cheaper by that 0.1 million, but yeah, I would still say Kufal, but yeah, Masuaku is also a great option, so yeah, to be honest, you can't really go wrong in that regard, but at least one West Ham defender, to be honest. And I know, like, seasons gone by, to be honest, you'd want to target West Ham defence. They were just so awful. But this season, they faced the likes of Leicester. They've faced some very tough teams, Spurs, and they've gotten through all of that. Liverpool, and they're just doing very well. So, yeah, I know the fixtures aren't exactly the greatest, but someone like Kufal as a third or fourth option, like, just great. Very great, to be honest. And, yeah, thank you, Ahmed, for commenting. And by the way, I'm not going to be pulling any tricks on you lot. This is what you see. So what you see is what you get. Whoever you see captain is who I'm going to captain. And my team is going to be locked in live, as you can see here. And I'll still be doing the normal, pre-recorded stuff. And I'll be premiering it as normal, so I can engage with you lot in the live chat there as well. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chandler, once again being here. And Mr. Kinslayer, known you for a long time. Good to see you again, mate. Good to see you again. And yeah. Back to the Uncharted days. And Gurav, how you doing? Thank you for joining. And yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how I feel about these Friday deadlines, to be honest. I mean, I do prefer the Saturday kickoff times, but I do like an evening live stream, so I can't go too wrong, to be fair. But I'm still having the same thoughts as I did the other day when I posted my Gameweek 10 preview. Salah's going to be my captain. I'm pretty sure of it. Liverpool are not going to take any chances, I think. I mean, you would think so. Bruno, who I brought in as well as Kufal, I'm going to make Bruno my vice captain. And I actually saw something where Bruno's actually got the most FPL points of any player since he has joined the Premier League. So it's just insane. Thank you, Christian, for your question. What do you think about captaincy on Bruno? Well, I mean, as I was just saying, Bruno, the most points since he's come to Manchester United, and he's got the second most amount of goals, the most assists of any player, and even the most open play goals from any midfielder. So to be honest, the only thing I would say about Bruno captaincy is that Southampton are a pretty good team, to be fair. So it's maybe not the ideal fixture, but I mean, I've got him vice captain, so it shows you how much faith I've got in him. And if you look at his away form, he's never blanked away from home. So to be fair, hopefully this is not the week he blanks, but he's a very reliable option. So if you don't have Salah, I'd say, yeah, Captain Bruno. But it depends on the other options you have as well. Chandler, Tielemans or Townsend only playing FPL draft? Oh, wow. I remember I got invited to that like last year. And yeah, I mean, it didn't end up happening. But yeah, I'll probably say Townsend. But I don't know, I wouldn't really back any of them. And Townsend plays for Palace. And my thoughts on Palace already. The only thing I would say is that Zaha is a quality player. And Tielemans, I mean, he is as well, but in terms of FPL, he can get a brace here and there and get some assists, but apart from that, you really wouldn't trust Tielemans. So yeah, Townsend, definitely. But I mean, that's the first question I've ever got asked about FPL draft, so yeah, thank you for that, and very, very interesting. You know what, maybe I'll give it a try one day, but I'm not sure. I can't really promise anything. But as I was saying with the vice captaincy, Calvert-Lewin is actually someone else I was considering, and he should have been my captain last week. He was in my Game Week 9 preview and ended up going to Grealish, so a lot of regrets there. That's a swing of 12 points, but yeah, Calvert-Lewin is a fantastic option for captaincy this week, and he's just just look at him in the Premier League. He's one of the top scorers, or the top scorer, should I say. Fantastic. Is Foden going to start in the Premier League, Chandler asks? Well, that's the thing with City. In my opinion, he won't. He will start from time to time, of course, and Pep, loves Foden. He's even given him some of the highest praise I've seen, but I don't think he's going to be someone you want to have in your team, because he will sometimes just be coming on from the bench, will get you some one-pointers here and there, and he may get the odd goal or whatever, but it will be hard for him to get bonus and stuff like that to give you the scores that he can produce. So I'm not sure. Like, if you're thinking about getting him in, there's always the risk with City. I think KDB and Sterling will probably be your best bets alongside the defenders Diaz and Cancelo. But yeah, Foden's a quality player, but just you can't be guaranteed of the minutes, unfortunately. Christian asks, I'm struggling terribly between Salah and Bruno. Oof, well, and yeah, thank you for your comment as well. To be honest, I would prefer Salah, and you know what? I could actually check this quickly just to let you guys know. But if you look at Salah's record against Brighton, it's actually phenomenal. So yeah, I'd definitely have a look at this guy. So if this is a good site, by the way, to look at players' records. And I know this might seem like, well, why are you looking at players like previous records? Well, to be honest, like whenever I captain someone and I see they have a good record against that team, they do well. And look at that record. 5 goals in 6 games and 3 assists. I mean, I'm Salah. That's why I'm going to go with Salah, and also because Salah this season has been such a great captaincy option for me. But overall, of course, Bruno, like I said, he has never blanked away from home, so you can't go wrong either way. You could literally like flick a coin up in the air and then decide. I think Salah's the better option, but to be fair, you just can't go wrong, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe Bruno ends up getting more points. Eli Aslan asks, Jotter or Grealish? Oh, that's a great question. If Jotter continues to play, then you could arguably go for him. He also plays in a much better team. But the thing with Grealish is that everything for Aston Villa goes through him. And, I mean, just look at some of these returns. 24 points against Liverpool, which is insane. And 15 points against Southampton. And pretty much all of the goal contributions came in the last 15, 20 minutes or so. So, to be fair, like, Jota would be an amazing pick if he, comes right and he plays in a better team. So, overall, I would say Grealish. But if Jota just nails down that spot, to be fair, I'd say both of these options that you just named, definitely the best by far, around the £6 to £7 million price bracket. So yeah, just both great options. And I have got my eye on Jota. I know I haven't mentioned him much, but I do have him in my UCL fantasy team after all. And unfortunately did get benched for that. And, it could be a bit like Foden, where sometimes he just doesn't play, even though he deserves to start ahead of the likes of Firmino. So we'll have to wait and see. Aston Villa has a good run of fixtures. Is Ollie a good bet? The thing is, he is a good bet, definitely, just to answer your question. But the reason why I have reservations about Watkins myself is because I've already got 2 Villa players. And as you can tell from this season, Villa can have the highs of, beating Arsenal 3-0 away, smacking Liverpool 7-2, to then just getting battered at home by Southampton and by Leeds. So to be honest, Aston Villa, having one midfielder like Grealish, I think is enough. But with the fixtures they have, and we'll just have a quick look at them now, having him and Watkins, I'm not going to say don't do it, but just be aware that Aston Villa just aren't the most reliable team. And, Watkins as well, if you look at his returns, like most of them pretty much come from 2 games. I know he got the penalty against Southampton as well, but, he is 6 million after all. And for his price, along with maybe Wilson and Bamford, they're the best definitely for that price. And Che Adams, you can't forget that guy who's just been doing very well. So he's worth it, but personally I wouldn't go for him if you've got Grealish. Are you going to try to get City assets in the next few weeks? Well, that was the plan, especially for the likes of Cancelo, but because of his price rise and also the price rises of Bruno Fernandez, who I really wanted in my team, I wasn't able to afford Cancelo as well. But to be fair, I'm still looking at it. I'm not ruling out City completely. I don't think they're an awful team by any stretch of the imagination. And if you look at how they're doing in the Champions League, they've been winning every single game. But I don't know. It's just when you look at the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling, and then you compare them to, let's say, all the midfielders in my team, for example, who would you actually drop? Son has poor fixtures, and I've already got Kane, so, I could arguably drop Son, but he's still getting some big returns, even against the likes of Manchester City. So it's very tough for me to just ditch this guy. And for me, he's better value for money, and he's just getting more points than pretty much Sterling and De Bruyne combined. So if I were looking at any City player, it would be the defenders. And Ruben Dias, I know he's a guaranteed starter. He's their best defender, or City's best defender, along with Laporte. But the problem with Dias is he has a low ceiling. And if you would want a defender from City, ideally it would be Cancelo. He's pretty much one of the best offensively in the league. And he's 5.5 million and just great value if he plays. But now with Mendy coming back, who knows? I think I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Burnley game this weekend. And if Cancelo continues to start and Mendy doesn't really have a sniff of getting in, then yeah, Cancelo would be someone I look to. Maybe for the likes of Zuma, because I do have double Chelsea defence, and Chilwell is already good enough cover. Oh, it's time to go. Oh, Scott. Ooh. Thank you for joining. And yeah, a Chelsea fan that guy is. Yeah, well, the less said about that, the better. But yeah, I do have 2 Chelsea players, and I was thinking of getting Ziyech. But I try to have a plan, and then I try to not be too rigid in that plan. I try to be flexible. So the likes of Ziyech and Cancelo, who I've stated numerous times in previous videos, and they remain good options, but it's just, you know what, I'm pretty happy with my team overall. And you know what, I'm going to probably struggle in the coming weeks to think of transfers. So this could be the first time this season where I actually wait 2 weeks and, I have 2 free transfers. So we'll have to wait and see there. And Mr. Kinslayer, yeah. It was a bit stupid what I just did there. Jamie, are you a Spurs fan? Just wondering. Well, I'm an Arsenal fan. You know that very well, Jamie. You're a United fan, though. But yeah, thanks for that. Ty Govenda, I transferred out Mitchell for Cancelo, Rashford for Bruno, and Vardy for Kane. Successful or not? Well, to be honest, I like the transfers, but I can't really say if it's successful or not. We'll have to wait and see over the coming weeks. But I actually think they're all very good transfers because Cancelo is a massive upgrade on Mitchell, who's pretty much, he's got an injury anyway. Rashford, he is a good player, but Bruno's a different class to any United player. And like I said, he's got the most points of any player since he's come to the Premier League. So that's a big upgrade as well. And you got, Rashford for Bruno, Mitchell for Bruno. Kane for Vardy. Well, I don't know if you're getting Kane in for Vardy, but yeah, Vardy's got great fixtures coming up. But I still prefer Kane, if I'm being honest. That's how I see it, but yeah. Hey Dylan, team looks solid. Do you think Kane to Vardy captaincy and Rashford to De Bruyne for 2 free transfers are worth it? Already got Fernandez, Grealish and Son as the other midfielders with DCL and Bamford. So thank you as well for your comment. To be honest, I do think it is worth it. But like I said, with Kane, he's only blanked once. I know he hasn't, been amazing in the last few weeks, but he's still just getting points. And you're not going to captain him. So 11 million is a bit of a, it's a bit of a luxury to have when you're not going to captain him. But I don't know, I think that's a good choice, captaining Vardy and getting him in. And De Bruyne is a massive upgrade on Rashford. So, you know what? I would recommend those transfers, but you probably want to have Kane back from, let's say, game week 16 onwards. But Kane is fixture-proof, as he has proven this season. Maybe in the last year or so he hasn't been, but this season he's a different level to what he was before. Alicia asked, Brewster to score against West Brom. Well, actually, I remember someone was actually telling me they had Brewster on their bench, and I said, really? You got him on the bench? Well, to be honest, I think if he does start, he has a good chance, probably the best chance of any Sheffield player. But I just don't trust Sheffield United. And you know what? That game, I don't know if it has 0-0 written all over it, but it could be a 0-0. But you know what? If Brewster ever scores, then it will probably be that game, to be fair. But we'll have to wait and see. What do you think about Antonio with West Ham fixtures coming? Could be better than Bamford. To be honest, I think Antonio is similar to Bamford. They're both a bit wasteful. They both get a lot of chances. But Bamford, I think, plays in a better team offensively. But to be honest, I would recommend... You know what? You could actually have either of them and it's fine. You probably wouldn't be able to get Antonio in for someone else. So, that could be a bit of a problem. But you know what? If Antonio is fit and with the fixtures coming up, why not? Why not? But I do prefer Bamford. If you're going to have a direct comparison between the two, I just prefer Bamford because the quality of chances he gets, he's getting the most shots, of any player in the league pretty much. So, I would definitely go for Bamford instead. But Antonio is someone who's kind of under the radar, but, he's a very, very good pick. So we'll have to wait and see there. Zaha replacements, debating between Maddison, Jotter, Ziyech, Ferran Torres. Okay, well, instantly from those that you mentioned, Jotter and Ziyech stand out because Ferran Torres, although he's probably a good asset in Champions League fantasy in the Premier League, I wouldn't go for him. But then again, you might be onto something there. So, just go with your gut. But for me, it would have to be between Jotter and Ziyech. And because Ziyech is a bit more nailed on, and in my opinion, he's Chelsea's best player, I would go for Ziyech. And you're pretty unfortunate with Zaha because out of nowhere, he's basically missed 2 games in the space of 4 to 5 days. So it's a bit unfortunate. Will you take a -4 for Mane to Salah? Well, you're probably going to be keeping Salah for the rest of the season, I'm guessing. So that -4 could be worth it. I do think Salah this season is on a different level to Mane. If this was last season, I would say no. And you know what? I'd even argue maybe just Mane is a better player or better asset. But yeah, that could work. But if not, you could just wait till next week. But Salah, like I said, his record against Brighton, 5 goals and 3 assists in 6 games. It's nothing to be scoffed at. And for me, he's the easy captaincy choice this week. But Bruno as well, Calvert-Lewin, they're both also, in the back of my mind. But yeah, Salah, I'm not going to try overcomplicate it. So yeah, I would recommend Mohamed Salah. No City players, not at the moment at all. But like I said, I am looking at Cancelo. If he continues to start, even with Mendy back in the team and pretty much everyone at City now is available, then yeah, I would look at Cancelo for sure. Probably for Zuma, although I don't think I have enough funds at the moment to facilitate that move. And when you look at the likes of De Bruyne and Sterling, I don't want to get rid of Salah for any of them, despite, the fixtures looking better for City per se. And even though Bruno has worse fixtures, Bruno, in my opinion, is a better asset than both. So it would have to be for Son or for Grealish. And you know what? If I do get De Bruyne or Sterling in, it would probably be downgrading Kane and stuff like that. So I'll probably wait 2 weeks or so and then make 2 free transfers to make those moves happen. But I need to see more from City in the league. I need to see more chances created. I need to see more free-flowing football and, more to the level of what they've done over the past few years. So that's why I have no City player at the moment. But of course, if you have some City players and you're trying to catch up in terms of the ranks, it could be very, very beneficial. But at the moment, I don't think so. Ty says, hey mate, I'm in doubt about Sadio Mane because he isn't doing the business for me right now. Is it worth maybe going back to Salah or sticking? Well, like I said to Anil, the thing is with Mane, last season he was very comparable to Salah. But this season, I think it's just a completely different ball game. And I would recommend getting Salah in for Mane. And you can literally keep Salah for the rest of the season. Salah's pretty much had his best ever start. And remember the 32-goal season he had, a few years back? Yeah, it's quite frightening if he keeps on going. And sorry, Anonymous, I missed your... how's it going, mate? It's been a while. Thank you for watching this video. And hopefully you're well as well, and hopefully you have a good week, and everyone here who's watching the same thing as well. And Ty says, also I agree with your point about City assets, as I haven't been convinced about them this season, but if they pick up form, KDB is on my watch list. Yeah, and to be honest, there's always this everlasting debate about KDB or Sterling, and I still think KDB, he's even pretty much has a better expected goals than him, definitely better expected assists. I don't know, with Sterling, a few years back, he was pretty much a must-own asset, and right now it's just very hard to even think of a case of getting him in. But with the fixtures, I think if City were ever to turn it around, it would be in this period between now and Gameweek 22. So yeah, I'm definitely not ruling out City assets whatsoever, but I'm just saying with the midfield I have, it's so hard to get one of the Kevin De Bruynes or Sterlings in. But for Cancelo and Diaz, I'm more open to getting them in very, very soon. But we'll have to wait and see. Things change very quickly in football. Ali, who do I captain? Salah, Bruno, or DCL? I would say Salah. That's why I've got him captain here. So I'm not going to tell you to captain someone else. But to be honest, you can captain any single one of them and they'll probably do very well. With Bruno, like I said, he's never blanked away from home. With Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's pretty much blanked once all season. And Mohamed Salah, his record against Brighton. And also, it's Mohamed Salah. This season, he's had his best ever start. And he's just doing so well. So you can't go wrong, but I would say Salah captain. And your vice could be on Bruno or Calvert-Lewin, to be honest. But if you do have a hunch that one of the other two might get you more points, then go for them, definitely. I'm not going to say, both of them are not as good as Salah. They may end up getting more points. I may end up having the wrong captaincy. But we'll have to wait and see. Jesper asks, should I do Watkins and Sterling to Grealish and Jesus for -4? I can just do Mane to Salah or roll the transfer as well. That's a good question and some good moves potentially. Jesus could be good. I think Aguero isn't really ready for maybe the next game week or so. So that could be very, very good. And Grealish, yeah. To be honest, I would rather have Grealish than Watkins. And to be honest, I would probably rather have Jesus over Sterling. So those are good moves. But don't be surprised if the likes of Watkins and Sterling do outperform those two. But I actually do like those moves. They're quite bold. They're quite different. But yeah, only do them if you're confident. But they're good moves. Definitely don't think otherwise. Chandler says, Podence, very attack-minded but not getting returns. If I'm being honest, from Wolves, Jimenez is the only one I would possibly consider. But even then, he's just too expensive. And when Danny Ings, I don't know if you lot have heard the news, but Danny Ings should be back by next game week against Brighton for game week 11, which is great news. And I'm actually thinking of getting him back in. But Danny Ings is 8.3 million and Jimenez is 8.5. And I don't think Jimenez has even outscored him this season, despite Ings missing 2 to 3 game weeks. And he's better value for money. All these £6 million players like Wilson, Bamford, Antonio, I think they're all better value. Watkins, Calvert-Lewin, Kane, even Werner. So to be honest, I wouldn't recommend any Wolves player. That's pretty much how I would say. No attackers anyway. As for defenders, the likes of Kilman, Cody, I would recommend, but no one else, in my opinion. Do I take Bruno out for De Bruyne? Form versus fixtures. I'm more of a form person, so I would say don't. But you know what? If you make that transfer, you could maybe be on the end of something very, very good, but also in turn maybe something very bad, because De Bruyne is very explosive at times, and so is Bruno Fernandez. But Bruno, I think, is a bit more consistent. And like I said, since he's joined, the most points, the second most amount of goals, the most assists, the most chances created, and everything at United goes through him. His goal involvement for Manchester United is pretty much nearly 60%. So I would say don't do that, but you may be onto something. If you have a good feeling about De Bruyne, then go for it. But I wouldn't do it myself. With injuries, one of my players will blank. Hopefully no injuries. That's pretty much how I'm going to see it. Wow, I didn't know that KDB expected goal stat. Well, to be honest, I will be doing more videos, obviously, where I'm going to be including more stats, and I'll be giving the exact figures and stuff like that, as I have been doing in some of my pre-recorded videos. But Kevin De Bruyne is actually still top 5 and 6, for expected goal involvements. And remember, City have played one game less. But guess what? Bruno Fernandez is second of any player, and he has missed a game. And first is Salah, but to be fair, he also missed a game. So him and Bruno are pretty much clear of everyone else. So yeah, expected goals isn't everything, and same with expected assists, but it is a pretty useful statistic. That's how I see it anyway. Who to captain? Bruno, Mane, Salah. For me, definitely Salah. I nearly said Salah. Salah or Bruno, but you know what? Mane might have, that double figure haul in him like he did against Chelsea. Who knows? But yeah, I would say definitely Salah or Bruno. And if you're asking me, it's Salah. Should I triple captain Vardy? Should I send it? To be fair, you ask if it's too much of a risk. Any triple captain is a risk. I triple captain Mane last season in the double game week 24, and he got injured in 40 minutes, so, it happens. So, I don't know. I wouldn't personally, but you know what? If you, activate it and you get a monster haul, then it's just, you're literally ahead of the curve. But I would say no, I wouldn't do it. But, back your gut. And, if you're that confident in him, then definitely captain him for sure. I took a -4 hit by doing Fornals to Souček and Dallas to Cancelo. To be honest, that looks pretty good. I wouldn't trust Fornals too much, even though he is West Ham's best creative player. And Souček is a good, option to come from the bench as your 4th or 5th midfielder. And Dallas, I know he just kept a clean sheet, but Leeds defensively are pretty much bottom 3, 4 for expected goals. And Cancelo, he is in Man City, and Man City are top 3 for expected goals conceded. So that's a good move. The only problem with that would be is if Cancelo gets benched, and to be honest, you just have to hope Pep doesn't screw you over like he did to me the other day by benching Ferran Torres. Why is Zuma on your second bench spot? Well, that's a good question, and I actually put up a poll where I asked you lot, who should I play between Kilman, who's away to Arsenal, Walker-Peters at home to Man United, and Zuma, who's at home to Tottenham. And the thing is, I've already got Chilwell. Otherwise, I probably would be starting Zuma anyway. The thing I am worried about with Zuma is not really the clean sheet, is if he gets a goal from a corner or something like that, and he has a double-digit haul on my bench. So it is very risky. I could end up having double Chelsea defence, but then again, I've got double Spurs attack, so it's not ideal. And I've got a lot of matchups this week between West Ham and Villa and stuff like that, so it's not really ideal. But yeah, it's between those 3, Kilman, Walker-Peters and Zuma. And if you lot have a suggestion, if you think that Kilman shouldn't start for me and you think Arsenal are actually going to play well for once in the Premier League, then let me know. Walker-Peters, like I said, Southampton are a good team. They really are. But United away from home, they've pretty much averaged 3 goals per game, and they're actually one of the best in terms of XG in the last 2 to 3 game weeks. So yeah, definitely think about that. Fornals to Jotter for -4. To be honest, I would say, yeah, that's a good move. I like that sort of move, but only if you're confident in Jotter starting quite regularly, and I think he will, but yeah, Jotter could be like Foden, like I said, where sometimes he just gets benched and he'll leave you frustrated with some low pointers, but yeah. Where is Bamford? Well, to be honest, Wasim, I do like Bamford, but I made a decision after Ings got injured to get in Callum Wilson, and he actually still has a similar expected goals to Bamford despite playing a game less, or should I say 2 games less. And yeah, he's the main guy for Newcastle. And the fixtures are fantastic up until game week 15. Phenomenal fixtures. And that fixture against West Brom at home and even Fulham at home, Wilson could be on the end of something big. But yeah, Bamford, he is someone I could move to, once Wilson, or if Wilson, proves to be useless, but we'll have to wait and see. WTR, should I triple... Oh, no. Oh, you already asked that, sorry. Yeah, you're welcome for the opinion. It's just an opinion anyway. Last one, Bowen or Fornals. I like both players in real life, but probably in FPL, I would say Fornals. But yeah, I don't... Like I've said before, I wouldn't go near a West Ham midfielder personally, unless it's Souček, who's probably be my 5th midfielder. With West Ham, I'm more interested in Antonio or one of the defenders like Creswell, Masuaku, or Kufau, as you can see here on screen. So yeah, Kilman or Creswell. If you're talking about starting this week, I'd definitely start Creswell. But if you're on about having in your team long term, I mean, if Kilman's retains a spot in this team, which he has been doing, I'll probably go with him because his price is fantastic. And then you could also have someone like Kufal or Masuaku alongside him. Creswell is a bit more expensive at 5.1, 5.2 million. So yeah, I'd probably go with Kilman. But yeah, for his price, 4.3, 4.4 million is phenomenal. Really. Ended up keeping it simple and doing Justin for Ferguson. Need to start having a decent bench for December period. That's true. I know maybe sometimes it's a bit exaggerated, when people say, oh, you need to have a good bench, there's going to be a lot of rotation and all of that. But it's still important to have a good bench anyways, regardless. So yeah, definitely. If you think squad depth is your main issue, I would try to rectify that first, rather than maybe being aggressive with midfielders or something, premium attackers and stuff like that. But yeah, that looks good. And I remember our discussion from earlier. Justin for Ferguson, I mean, you're guaranteed to earn a net number of points. So you know what? I like that move and good luck to you. Will Cancelo start? Salah or KDB, whom to get in? Salah, definitely over KDB. I know KDB has better fixtures. And as for Cancelo will start, I think he will, but I just can't tell you for sure. I'm being serious. So, if you think he's going to start, then go for it. Blues FPL, welcome. Thank you for commenting. Still have to say that City assets aren't worth the money until they start scoring more. Well, that's what I think at the moment. I know KDB has gotten a few attacking returns in recent game weeks, but why get him over the likes of Son, Salah and Fernandez? That's how I see it. But I'm not going to just close them off completely. I don't think they're bad assets necessarily, but I think value for money is so key in this game, and they're just not proving to be value for money at the moment, or at least the best value options that you can get. Mane to Salah, is it a waste of a transfer? To be honest, last season I would have said yes, it is a waste. And when I did that last season, it cost me a few times. But this season, I don't think so. Even if, let's say, you get Salah in and Mane outperforms him in this game week, you shouldn't, rage transfer Salah back out to Mane or something like that. I think Salah will definitely outperform him for the rest of the season. So, yeah, definitely. I don't think it's a waste of a transfer or a sideways move. I don't think so. Ziyech or Son, whom to transfer out for Salah KDB? That is a very tough question. Because of the fixtures that Son has, you could maybe get him out. But if I'm being honest, I actually probably still prefer Son over Ziyech. So if you're a fixtures guy, I would definitely get rid of Son. And to be fair, if you have Kane and you're getting rid of Son, then that's fair enough. You still have some Spurs cover. But if you have no Spurs cover whatsoever, then you know what? Keep Son, probably get rid of Ziyech. But to be honest, Ziyech is a quality player. I wouldn't want to get rid of him either. But you can't have everyone. And, I got rid of Robertson and James Rodriguez, who could probably outscore Kufau and Bruno. And bear in mind, I did take a -4, so it's not ideal. It's not ideal whatsoever. But you can't have everyone, unfortunately. Best captain out of Bruno, Sterling or DCL? I think in terms of form, that's a really difficult question. They're all great players. I would actually say Bruno, probably, but DCL, he could have a monster haul against Leeds. I just think Leeds could play perfectly into Everton's hands. And to be honest, out of all the games this week, I know Chelsea play Spurs, but Everton versus Leeds, I'm not trying to be woke or anything. I think that could be one of the best games this weekend. So, yeah, you know what? I would probably go for Bruno, but if not, I'd probably DCL. Bonello a lo Chelsea. Well, no, I'm not going to do that, mate. Sorry. Atlil says start Kufal versus Villa or Lewis versus Palace. Oof, that is a tough question. I would say Kufal, though. I trust West Ham more, even though I don't trust them whatsoever. And I know they have a tougher fixture on paper. But yeah, I mean, you know what? You could go for Lewis, and you don't have to just, do exactly what I suggest, but I just would prefer Kufal. Chandler says, any shouts for Newcastle midfielder? Alex St. Maximan injury. Yeah, that's the thing. If I'm being honest, no Newcastle midfielder whatsoever. If you want any attacker, it would have to be Wilson. Otherwise, not so much. And yeah, the news about St. Maximan, even though he can be a bit wasteful at times, it's not good news for me anyway, because I've got Wilson and I want more supply for him. And the fact that Fraser, I think, is out still, who's going to supply him? I'm a bit worried about that, to be fair. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't suggest any Newcastle midfielder, to be honest. Muchas gracias, aficiones para vosotros. Yeah, thank you, AJDC. Welcome. Lo Chelsea rules. No, he doesn't. I mean, for Argentina he does, but not for Spurs. No Bamford. Like I said before, I made a decision to replace Ings with Callum Wilson, and it didn't pay off, or it hasn't so far, because he got injured as soon as he got him in. But yeah, Bamford is a great option. I'm never going to rule him out, and I probably would, move Wilson onto Bamford if, I'm not liking the look of this guy. But yeah, I mean, it was between Wilson or Bamford, and I ended up going with Wilson. But yeah, maybe it was the wrong decision. Bamford is definitely a great option. I know he misses a lot of chances, but still. Bruno Fernandez self-isolating. Wait, are you serious? I mean, I need to check this just in case, but yeah. I'm going to check this for 1 second. I don't want to get trolled here. I mean, I literally just got him in on my team, I think on a Monday or something. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I hope that's not true. And I'm not saying I do think that, but yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any news here. Maybe it's on Twitter or something, but yeah, I haven't seen anything. Okay, let me just go back to the comments. Kane for Vardy for 4-point hit. To be honest, for the next 2 to 3 game weeks, I think Vardy could have some monster hauls in him. I mean, you've seen him over the years. He can get 17, 20 points just easily as that. And last season, I have to say, the catalyst for my poor start of the season to ended up having a decent finish was Vardy. I had him pretty much for his period where he scored every single game. And yeah, so you know what? I would recommend that transfer, but you want to have Kane back for game week 16 onwards. And this season, I still have to say, even though Vardy's a stat buster, we all know that, I don't trust Leicester or him enough. So we'll have to wait and see. Rashford, question mark. Well, to be honest, I'm not really worried about Rashford because guess what? I've got Bruno Fernandez, who's the best player in Manchester United, one of the best in the Premier League. So yeah, Rashford's a good player, but you know what? I do have Bruno. But I did hear that he is flagged for this game week, so we'll have to wait and see. If you want to replace him or something, not too sure to be honest. Probably Son around this price bracket, if not Ziyech, Grealish, even Bruno if you can upgrade to him, or maybe one of the City midfielders finally. Trossard to score or assist against Liverpool defence. I mean, I'm not really a fortune teller or something, but someone did ask me the other day, how many points will Neymar get? How many goals will he score against Leipzig? And I don't know if I got the points right, but I did say he'll score 1 goal, and he got a penalty, and he did. But for this, I think he won't. But you know what? I might be wrong. So I'm not a fortune teller, but I don't think he will. Philander, thank you for commenting. KDB or Sterling, and Diaz or Cancelo. KDB and Cancelo, but only if you trust him to start anyway. Because if you have doubts about Cancelo, then probably just go for Diaz. But the problem with him, he's a bit boring. It's a bit like, let's say, Cody versus Saiss. When Saiss was, playing, he was the highest scoring defender in the game. And Cody, he would just get the 6-7 points. He's not really going to get too much else. And that's his ceiling. It reminds me of Diaz versus Cancelo. If Cancelo plays the full 90 minutes, he could literally get some big scores. But with Diaz, you wouldn't really be expecting that. Maybe some 5-pointers as well with yellow cards. So yeah, I'd say KDB and Cancelo. Vardy or KDB captain? Vardy, I think, but KDB is a great option this week for sure. What is your current overall rank? Let me show you that. My current overall rank is 166. The highest I was this season was around 80k or something like that. So I have gone down a bit, but you know what? It's a long way to go. And I I mean, I don't know, it's too early to tell, but I might prefer the second half of the season. I mean, it depends on how well we do, but yeah. He was trolling probably, but you know what, it's always good to check just in case. Wilson to Watkins for a hit. I don't know. I personally wouldn't. Maybe it's a bit of bias because I do have Wilson himself, but like I said, just look at some of these fixtures that are coming up. And I know this guy's got no service pretty much, but I still think he can get some goals. And if you have Grealish already, then I would definitely not do it. But if you don't have Grealish, you want some Aston Villa cover offensively, then yeah, you know what, it could be good. But I wouldn't want to do it, especially for a hit. Not ideal. Best captain out of Bruno, Sterling or DCL? Yeah, like I said before, when someone asked me the same question, I'd probably say Bruno. They're all great options, but yeah, I'd probably go Bruno. DCL, though, could be a great Maverick pick. Dylan, any words for the haters that criticize you when you make a mistake, even though they write me for your suggestions? Jesus Christ. This guy, oh my God, I shouldn't have said the last few words anyway. I feel like Robbie when he reads out all these comments. Pulisic could play. Yeah, he could, but I don't know if he's going to start, so he could come off from the bench. And the thing with Pulisic is, you know, he gets injured far too often, and I actually had him for one game week before playing my wildcard. And I don't know, I don't trust him enough because he's so injury prone. So I would just go with Ziyech if you want a Chelsea attacker, if not Werner. But yeah, Ziyech would be my number one choice. Pulisic, he is explosive, but just, I don't know, I wouldn't go near him. Bruno and Kane to Salah and Bamford. Anything involving Bruno, I don't like that. So Kane to Bamford, yeah, I mean, you probably want to have Salah. If you could maybe get rid of someone, maybe like Son for Salah, then yeah, but I don't know, just getting rid of Bruno doesn't sit right with me. I literally just got him in though, so we'll have to wait and see. But those are good moves, like, don't get me wrong, I'm just not too sure about Bruno and Kane. I mean, if you look at the form they've been in this year, it's just frightening. Werner, DCL, Vardy, my front three rate. I mean, I don't really do ratings out of 10, but that's a good, lineup. And the only thing, I know Werner's been doing very well recently, but you could possibly get better value for money than him. So if you look at maybe Bamford, Wilson maybe, if not Ings when he comes back. So you know what, maybe that's the only strike I would change in your case. And when Vardy's fixtures turn, maybe try to get Kane back in or someone like that, or one of the others that I just mentioned. Rashford and Jimenez out for KDB and Bamford for -4. You know what, I actually like those moves because, yeah, KDB's an upgrade on Rashford, I mean, you would think, and Bamford is probably a better value pick than Jimenez. I mean, he's getting more points and he's 2.5 million cheaper. Yeah, you know what, definitely, I would make those moves. And you could be ahead of the curve by getting a City player. A lot of people like me are waiting for City players to actually produce. You could probably have him whilst he gets a double-digit haul. So you know what, that's a good move, I think. Thinking of making a how to become a better FPL video. Do I have permission to talk about your channel in it? Yeah, definitely. You can definitely do it. No problems with me. Rashford to play, not injured. Ollie press conference. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you for the news, D-Roof. And yeah, that's why the press conferences, I actually haven't looked too much into the press conferences today because all of my players have been cleared anyway. But very, very important to look at the Friday press conferences because you can just get all the latest updates. And that's why I would recommend making your transfers on the Friday evening, just before the Friday deadline. Or if not, if it's a Saturday lunchtime deadline or whatever, then you can make them basically Saturday morning or whatever. So yeah, thank you for the update there. Keep or sell Werner, and if so, who do I bring in? Got 2.5 million in the bank. I mean, I don't know who else you have, but I do think there are better value options than Werner. And like I said, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, even Che Adams, Danny Ings, who's going to come back for Game Week 11, but don't bring him now, not for Game Week 10. But Danny Ings is another one. Kane, if you don't have him, Vardy. I think all of those are probably better options than Werner. But I think Ziyech, I think he's FPL gold. I don't have him though. So yeah. Good luck, Dylan. Say it back to me. Good luck, Charlie, and good luck to everyone. So yeah, I mean, we need the luck. This game is about good decisions, but also some luck, ultimately. So yeah, since everyone is not captaining Grealish, I will. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks myself. I mean, you could be onto something, but I just wouldn't. I'm never captaining Grealish again. I'm just saying that now. But good luck if you do captain him or whoever you do. Toby asks, Son keep or bring Bruno for the next weeks? If you're, well, to be honest, I'm reluctant of getting rid of Son, but I think Bruno is probably better. And if you have Kane already, then yeah, I would do Son to Bruno, to be fair. But Son, just bear in mind, I mean, look, Remember for game week 2, everyone pretty much brought him out. Look what he did for that game week. Match day 4, same thing. Match day 6 again, same thing. Match day 9, same thing. So this guy can just punish people, and it is very risky. But Bruno Fernandez is a quality player, and I'd be surprised if Son outperforms him over the next 10 game weeks or so, or whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. KDB or Bruno captain? KDB, right? Well, in terms of fixture, you would say so. But I actually prefer Bruno. I know Southampton are a much tougher fixture. But yeah, if you're a fixtures guy, just go with KDB. But me personally, I'll probably captain Bruno. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous. Do you think Werner/Abraham would be rotated when Pulisic returns to the starting 11 at times? I actually think so. Not always, and not too often. But if you look at Frank Lampard, he constantly talks about benching Werner, yet he never seems to do it. But if you actually think about it, in the Burnley game, when Pulisic got injured in the warm-up, Werner was actually going to be on the bench. But because Pulisic got injured, Werner came into the team and he ended up doing very well FPL-wise. So yeah, that's another concern I would have with Werner as well. And he's very wasteful. He's a quality striker, but he's very, very wasteful. Rodriguez to Sterling. Yeah, I do like that move. Rodriguez is a quality player, but I also got rid of him for Bruno. I just not too fussed about Rodriguez. So yeah, I think that's a good move. Aguero in soon. I don't know. I mean, if I would have to wait and see. So when he's back and he starts a game and he does really well, then I would maybe bring him in. But he'll still be rotating with Jesus, so I'm not too sure about him. For me, Aguero's time is done for FPL, and that's very sad to say, but yeah, he's an FPL legend regardless, but yeah, I probably wouldn't get him in. Cancelo or Walker for longer term? I mean, Walker's more fixed into the team, that's what I will say, but I think Cancelo could get more points because of the bonus point system and from his assist potential. The only problem with Cancelo is his starts, so to be honest, if you think Cancelo's going to start, I would go with Cancelo, but both good options, I think. And if not, you could go with Diaz, the boring pick. Oh, yeah, I nearly read up the same thing twice. Vardy triple captain. Also, Robertson versus Cancelo for this week only. Kufal versus Masuaku. Vardy triple captain, like I said earlier, I wouldn't. But if you're that confident in him, then why not? But I wouldn't personally. Robertson versus Cancelo for this week. Oh, that's a tough one. If Cancelo starts, maybe him, but you know what? Robertson could get some assists and stuff. He looked fantastic the other day. And I'm not talking about the Atalanta game where, Liverpool did pretty poor. And as for Kufal versus Masuaku, very tough one. I'll just go with Kufal. That's who I ended up going with, but you can't go wrong with either one of them. And West Ham, you know what? Who would have thought a West Ham defender in your team? But yeah. Hi all, do you know will Foden play? That's the thing, we don't know if he'll play, but you know what? He could be good from time to time. I just probably wouldn't go near him, but it's up to you. But yeah, you just can't really tell. I started FPL on match day 8. My rank is 7.2 million. Well, at least you actually gone up, Ninad, and you've been doing very well in UCL Fantasy from what you've been telling me. Good luck. And you know what? You might enjoy FPL a lot. And next season, looking forward to seeing you play that as well. Martin asks, will Antonio play? Well, that's the thing. He might not play. There's no guarantee. And David Moyes did give his press conference today, I believe. So yeah, if you're thinking of getting Antonio in, maybe I would wait a week or so. But I know the West Ham fixtures aren't exactly the greatest in that time. Son or Kane, who should I sell for KDB? That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. A few weeks ago, I said I'd definitely keep in Kane. But then after Son, did so well against City, I'm just not sure. And Son is amazing value for money. And let me just check this real quick. Yeah, they've both got the exact same number of points, the joint highest earners in the whole game. Jesus Christ. So to be honest, that's a really tough one. If not, why not keep both of them? I know their fixtures are horrible, but maybe why not keep both of them? But you know what? Kane's consistency, maybe. Maybe you should keep him. But then again, will you captain Kane? Probably not. You'll captain KDB. So you know what? I'd say get rid of Kane, but you know what? Both of them could punish you anyway. So good luck with your decision. Kufal or Target this game week? That's the thing. Villa and West Ham are very, very unpredictable, but I would probably go with Kufal. But I'm not sure. Maybe you have Martinez already, and if you do, then definitely don't go with Target. But who knows? Dylan, can you smell the rock is cooking? Yeah, I can, mate. Italiano! Yeah, Mr. Kinsler. I mean, not Italian, but yeah, maybe a bit of that, at least in my family. Do you think Mitchell will start? Because I bought Digne and now he is injured. That's the thing. I don't know if he will. And Patrick Van Aanholt will most likely start. And he's Palace's second best player, really. So I'm not too sure about Mitchell, to be honest. So yeah, maybe you need to make a transfer there. Digne's out for a long time regardless, and you might have to take some hits for that, but yeah, you probably would have to. Nobody is talking about Kyle Walker-Peters. He's getting me points, yeah. Kyle Walker-Peters and Vestergaard. Whenever someone's asking me now which defender should I get, I say try to get one Chelsea defender, one West Ham defender, maybe a Wolves defender, and a Southampton defender like Kyle Walker-Peters. And yeah, he's just been producing the goods. But yeah, this guy's been doing so well. That's why I'm a bit reluctant of benching him. And the other day, I know he only missed out on 2 points, but I ended up putting Basuma instead of Kyle Walker-Peters to come from my bench for Salah. And I regret that. I regretted it as soon as the game week was done, the deadline anyway. So yeah. Is Saint-Maximin injured? Yes, he is. He's not going to be playing today, should I say. And remember, the lineup is in 40 minutes. Grealish, Werner to Salah, Watkins for -4. I mean, Grealish is fantastic value for his price. And you know what? The thing is, Werner to Watkins... You know what, just having Salah, then I would say yes, but you know what, Grealish, I would want to keep him if possible. I would say that, but you know what, you could do those moves. Start Podence or Malpai. If I'm being honest, I never liked Malpai, and yeah, he's just very, very wasteful, but Podence as well. Thing is, Podence is playing Arsenal pretty good defensively. So you know what, I guess I'd say Malpai, but I don't know, I mean, he's playing Liverpool. You know what, just back your gut. You know what? I'd say Malpai. You know, he's a bit of a jammy guy, but I'm not sure. Must I play Cresswell against Grealish, Martinez, and Watkins, or must I sub Kilman in for Cresswell? To be honest, I think Cresswell has a much better fixture than Kilman, so I would keep him. But it's up to you. Just, I know it's very simple to say, but I mean, whoever you think is going to get the most amount of points, just go with them. I've got Kilman in reluctantly over the likes of Zuma and Kyle Walker-Peters. But before this deadline, I mean, I've got pretty much everything set since days ago. You know what, let me know. Should I start Zuma, Kyle Walker-Peters or Kilman? And bear in mind they all have tough fixtures. But yeah, in your case, you don't have to sub Kilman in for Cresswell. If you don't think Cresswell or Kilman's going to get points, then just, you know, don't go with them pretty much. Please answer, who should I captain? DCL, KDB or Vardy? From those, I'd probably say Vardy, but the only thing I would say about Vardy is that Fulham are probably going to be sitting back and Vardy loves to run in behind defences, so you know, it's not ideal, but I think Vardy should be the best captain anyway. Adams to Antonio. To be honest, Adams doing so well, so why get rid of him, to be honest? But Antonio, you could be ahead of the curve by getting him in, but I would wait and see, you know, if he's fully fit and if he plays this week, how he plays, how West Ham do. Because remember, West Ham are still a very unpredictable team. I know they've started off very well this season. Bamford to Hall against the weak and leaky Everton defence. Worth a captain shout or too risky. Other options would be Bruno, DCL, KDB. The thing is with captaining Bamford, it reminds me of captaining Grealish. Like, they're both great value options, but I don't know, they're just not reliable enough. The likes of Salah, Bruno are reliable. Even DCL this season potentially is very reliable. So I would rather captain those others that you mentioned, KDB, Bruno or DCL. And Bruno would be my pick, but if you're a fixtures guy, go with KDB. But you say Wooly Hall against the weakened Everton defence. Everton are leaky anyway. They've conceded 2 goals. Or 2+ goals for the last 6 game weeks straight. So, yeah, they're not a great defence anyway. I've got double Chelsea defence, Zuma and Chilwell. Any thoughts? Well, to be honest, so do I. And I'm also called Dylan, believe it or not. But just, if you wanted to keep one, Zuma maybe is better value or whatever, but I just rather have Chilwell. So if you're thinking of getting rid of one, probably Zuma. But yeah, as for this week, I'm just starting both of them and then starting the 2 Spurs attackers. I'm just very, very reluctant. So it's a tricky situation that we've both put ourselves in by having double Chelsea defence. But then look at last week. They both got the clean sheet points and they both did very well. So yeah, it, you know, goes up and down. Yeah, you're welcome. Labovic, I'll call you Labovic, yeah, if that's fine by you anyway. Will Rashford play? Well, I mean, in his press conference, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that Rashford will play, so he should. I'm not sure if you have him in your team. I want to replace Barkley with Rashford. If you can, go up to Bruno. That's what I'm going to say. But if not, then yeah, a Rashford could be a good choice. He's probably the second best. No, scratch that. He is the second best United attacker that you can get. Bought Fernandez and Jotter in for Zaha and Maximan. Let's try it. You know what? That actually sounds really good. Like, you know what? Both upgrades, I think. So all the best. Hope it works. I hope it works too. Captain is DCL. What do you think? I mean, you've also got Fernandez, who I would probably captain over him, but I don't know. DCL is someone else I'm actually thinking of putting the vice captaincy on. But yeah, you know what? DCL captain, that is a good choice. So if it doesn't go right, you can't really kick yourself too much. But yeah, I'd say DCL or Bruno. And if you have Salah, I would go with Salah. Van Aanholt to Cancelo for -4. Personally, I wouldn't, because like I said, I'm not even sure if Cancelo is going to start this weekend. I think he will, but I'm not sure. And even if he does start, let's say, he has to get like a good amount of points. He basically has to get at least 8 points, depending on how Van Aanholt does as well, to pretty much give you a net amount of points. So I wouldn't take a hit for a defender. The only reason I took a hit for a defender is because it was to fund the Bruno move, James to Bruno. Otherwise, hits involving defenders, no, and no. Not for me. Ayew is the best option? No, not for me, Navas. From Crystal Palace, Zaha or nothing, in my opinion. Maybe a Palace defender, but no one else, in my opinion. Captain Bamford or DCL? I would go with DCL, but it's up to you. Son or Salah? If this is for having in your team, Salah, but Son is great. He's been so good this season. Is Saint-Maximin going to start? No, he's not. Arsenal forever, and good to see another Arsenal fan here. Hopefully Arsenal fucking win this weekend, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, start Chilwell, Kilman, and Robertson, and bench Zuma. You know what? That looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not sure who your other defender is, but yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's similar to what I have. I used to have Robertson, and I would have started him. Of course, and it would have it would have been the exact same situation as you, to be honest. So yeah, that's what I would say. Is the FPL mate channel? No, that's not me. Nothing to do with that. Eze will play or not? I think he will, and we're going to find out in 8 minutes if he's going to. Hope everyone is having a relaxing evening. Best of luck, everyone, this game week. Thank you, Savage Mode. Always positive, always very constructive with your feedback as well, and good luck to you as well. This game week will be my first ever FPL experience, guys. Wish me good luck. Wow, yeah. I can't really remember my first time, so I can't really say, but all the best. And yeah, a lot of people do take it seriously. I mean, I'm taking it fairly seriously to be making videos about it, but don't let it ruin your weekend and stuff like that, you know. Just enjoy it. And if you get some hauls, then very, very good. And if not, there's always next week. And yeah, you can't always do well. Van Aanholt to Cancelo for -4. I mean, that was a bit of spam, but yeah, like I said, I wouldn't do that. Start Chilwell, Kilman, and Robertson, and Benzema. Eze will play or not? Oh, I'm just getting the same comments again. Kyle Walker-Peters, Kilman, or Justin? Justin, definitely. I mean, definitely for the next 2 or so game weeks. But overall, as overall assets, I actually like the look of Kyle Walker-Peters and Kilman more. But for the next 2, definitely I would go with Justin. Dylan, when are you doing the Among Us stream? I will be doing it soon, mate. Don't worry. I know you're very persistent. I know that. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, sorry, I had to do that. So start sure. Let's go. Yeah, sorry, my chat got messed up completely because of spam, so yeah, I had to deal with that. Should I play Eiling or Konsa? I'd go with Konsa probably because, like I said, in the Leeds versus Everton game, I'm expecting that to be more open. But then again, Villa aren't very reliable. They're not very, you know, it's hard to predict Villa. Same with West Ham, but I would go with Konsa. Why take a -4 for a defender? Exactly, that's what I think. But if you're asking for me, why did I take it? It was because Bruno and Kufal were going up in price, and just in case to not be priced out, I wanted to get both of them in. And to be honest, I actually could have waited, and I probably should have, but whatever. I've got both of them in, and they're both good to go for this game week. And yeah, the only reason I did do that is to facilitate the move to Bruno. I couldn't have made the move without downgrading Robertson to Kufal. Best 5 million below defender. To be honest, I would probably say either Kyle Walker-Peters, or basically a Southampton defender like Kyle Walker-Peters or Vestergaard, Kufal or Masuaku, yeah, and Kilman. I think those are the best value options in defence. I am a bit biased, of course, and more options around that price bracket will be coming out. Should I do -4, say Maximan to something, because I don't have any players to play at the bench? Jorginho, Strauch, and Lamptey. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough situation you're in, but it depends. I mean, the main thing is who are you going to get? So let me know who you're going to get, and I would suggest it. I don't know how much money you have and stuff like that, but yeah, it could be worth it. It's not an ideal situation, and good luck for this game week. Thoughts on Jotter? Like I said, Jotter's a very good choice, and if you compare his statistics per minute compared to everyone else around this price bracket, even Grealish, he completely smashes it, and he's in a better team. He's getting more chances, he's creating more chances, and he's a fantastic player. But if you have Salah already, you don't necessarily need Jotter, but he could be a very good player to couple alongside Salah when they have very good fixtures coming up, like Fulham, I believe, in a few game weeks' time. So, yeah, you know what? I like Jotter a lot. Best 5 million defender for long term. I mean, as in 5 million on the dot exactly, I'm not sure. But if you don't have Martinez already, I mean, he's someone I forgot. You could get Target or Konsa. So yeah, like I said, West Ham, Chelsea, Kilman, Southampton defender as well. And then, yeah, someone like Target or Konsa around that price bracket. I've got Bruno, De Bruyne, Salah and Vardy. Who should I captain? Oof, out of all of those, that's really tough. Probably Salah or Vardy. Back your gut there. But any of them could do very well. And for you to have all of them, I mean, they could all do so well. Should I captain Sterling or Fernandez? I mean, if you're a fixtures guy, Sterling, but I rather have Fernandez. Start Chilwell, Kilman and Robertson and bench Zuma. I have Vardy instead of Kane. I mean, yeah, it depends on your other defenders, but yeah, that looks pretty good, to be honest. The only guy I'm not really too sure about is Kilman away to Arsenal, but then again, Arsenal haven't been great either recently. Who should I captain? I have Salah, Ziyech, Grealish, Watkins, Kane, Son. Jesus, so many people have so many captaincy options. It's mad. I would go with Salah, but back your gut. Always back your gut. Dallas or Kilman for this week? That's a really tough one. I would probably say Dallas for his attacking potential, but I can see Leeds conceding more than 2. But yeah, if you're on about clean sheet potential, definitely Kilman has more of a chance. But yeah, that's a tough one. Thanks, bro. Vardy, Salah or Bruno for captain? For me, Salah or Vardy. But all of them very, very good choices. Captain Rashford, KDB, DCL or Salah? I would say Salah. And if not, KDB, but it depends. If you're a fixtures guy or a form guy, I'm more of a form person. I know Salah has just come back. He didn't look that good against Atalanta, but Salah's form over the whole season has been tremendous. Thank you, Martin, for your comment. Double up Chelsea defence. I mean, not for this week. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we've only got 3 minutes for the deadline. I've got Zuma as my second sub, and I might just stick it there. I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not really expecting too much, and maybe putting Kilman against Arsenal's a mistake. Maybe it is. Vardy or Bruno captain? I'd probably say Vardy, mate. Sterling or Bruno captain? I would say Bruno, as I keep saying. But if you're a fixtures guy, if you trust City and Sterling, then go for him, definitely. I just prefer Bruno. He's never blanked away from home. Just bear that in mind. I guess my captaincy and captain Son. Hope he gets returns. Oh wait, how do you guess it? Do you like close your eyes or something? I mean, I'd be intrigued to know. When are you doing face reveal? I mean, I may do at some point. I actually do have a video where I have my face on. I think it was the Man City versus Arsenal preview back in March or February, something like that. But yeah, apart from that, never revealed my face, so to speak. What do you think about my inclusion of James Rodriguez? Well, I got rid of James Rodriguez to get Bruno Fernandez in, but you know what? I actually think James could outscore Bruno this week, but I just wanted Bruno in so bad. James Rodriguez could be very good for the next 2, but after that, I'm not so sure. And like I said, from Everton, the only guy you really want is Calvert-Lewin. You don't really want anyone else. So yeah, James Rodriguez is still a good option, but I still think there are better options around his price and overall. So yeah, I'm not too sure about him. KDB double digits? Maybe. If you're going to ask me as in yes or no, I would say yes, but who knows? Who knows at this point? Should I captain Vardy or KDB? I would probably go with Vardy, but tough one. Both of them could do very well. Back your gut. And, I could be making the wrong decision here. Zuma to Cresswell or Bellerin? Cresswell. I'm an Arsenal fan. I know Arsenal too well. And Bellerin can get these double-digit returns every now and then, but I think Cresswell's probably a better choice for you. Brilliant podcast as always. Thank you so much. Thank you, Adelino, for watching. And thank you everyone for just engaging. 60 people watching right now, and before it was like 70 or whatever. Thank you so much. I've been completely in the zone reading your comments, and it's very, very enjoyable to talk to all of you. And good luck for this game week. Not missing out on much of his face. That's true, Kinslayer. That is true. That's a good comment. Captaining Bruno and Son Vice. Yeah, that looks good, and hopefully that works out well for you. Don't worry about face reveal. Just imagine Werner mixed with De Gea. And Royce, Jesus Christ, oh man. These two people we just had these comparisons. They do chat a lot of shit, but yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, Werner 3 goals. I don't think so, Marco, but maybe he will. And if he does, and you didn't captain him because I said he won't get 3 goals, you might want to kill me. So back your gut. I don't think he's going to score 3 goals though. That's how I'm seeing it. So yeah, the deadline has passed. I'm pretty sure. If we reload the page, oh dear, have I made a blunder with my substitutions? Probably. I'm not sure. I mean, Southampton probably the most poised to get a clean sheet out of the lot, but I'm not even sure, to be honest. Yeah, what was that laugh? I mean, Antonio, if I'm being honest, it was a laugh of disbelief and appreciating some good comedy from you and Kinslayer. So yeah, probably a minute to the deadline. Yeah, there is. Pretty much it's gone. DCL 3 goals. Hopefully, I mean, I can't lie, because I didn't captain him in the end last week. I didn't want him to score more goals than he did. But yeah, hopefully he does do very well. He's a quality player. El Padrino, we meet again. Oh yeah, El Padrino. I'm going DCL this week. Good luck, guys. Good luck to you as well, El Padrino, The Godfather. If you haven't watched that film, watch it. Definitely, I'm not getting sponsored by them or anything. Kane is getting a price drop. Yeah, but I'm not too bothered about price drops and stuff like that. I know Robertson's going up and I already got rid of him and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not too concerned. Let's see if the deadline has passed. Because normally, I mean, this would be completely locked in, as in it'll be grey or whatever. But maybe that's more to do with my app. Let me check the app for 1 second and see. I'm pretty sure that the deadline has passed. Because remember, they have changed it this year to 1.5 hours. Yep, it's already done. Kilman's in my team, and that's how it is. Good luck, everyone. Good luck to you as well, Atul. Yeah, Savage Mode, Maximan is injured, which also affects Wilson owners, because who's going to supply Wilson? Who actually knows? Got Balbuena, Chilwell, and Creswell on my free hit this week. Oh, free hit, damn. Good luck, Dennis. Very, very, very risky, but could pay off. Risk. It's all about risks. Diego. Yeah, one of the goats. The goats of all time, as John Puente would say. What club do you support, mate? As you can see here, Kieran, I support Arsenal. Make of that what you will. And yeah, I know we've been shit in the Premier League, but hopefully we turn it around. And yeah, hopefully we turn it around. Let's see if I've missed anything else. I don't think I have. Yeah, I mean, there's still 48 people watching after the deadline has passed. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And if you have any more questions or stuff, just put them in the live chat and in the comment section, and I'll try to answer all the questions before wrapping up. But yeah, let's see what happens this week in the Premier League. And I think the last few matches are on Monday, which is a bit... I don't like these drawn-out weekends too much. But then again, more football, I guess, every single day. Can't complain too much. But that's how it is. And if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season. But yeah, thank you so much just for all the support. And yeah, I'll be reading all your comments. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can send me your teams whenever you want. And I post stuff on the community tab. I post videos every single week, previews. I even did a UCL fantasy stream the other day, and I do UCL fantasy videos as well. So yeah, let me go through your comments. Thanks, mate, for the stream. Thank you, Ali, for tuning in, and everyone else who's tuned in. I chose Kilman over Dallas. Is that good? You know what? I probably think Kilman's the better choice, but you know what? Good luck to you. I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of them are really going to do that well. But who knows? Who am I to tell that anyway? Then Adams, Werner, and Calvert in for the offensive. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's quite bold for a free hit. You got some very different picks there, but hopefully they pay off for you. Good luck to you as well. Undershot Fugo, thank you so much. Why no City assets, mate? Yeah, Kieran, like I said before, I haven't seen enough from the assets, and let me just go back to my team real quick. I know I've got the outro right now, but just look at my midfield. I've got Salah, I've got Son, I've got Grealish, and I've got Bruno Fernandez. Who would I get rid of to facilitate the move to De Bruyne or for Sterling? But if they start producing, as we know they can, then I could maybe get rid of Son and Kane, which is very, very risky to facilitate that move. But yeah, apart from that, I wouldn't want to. I definitely don't want to get rid of Salah or Bruno, who are probably the easiest switches to them. What I will say though is Cancelo or Diaz. They're two people I could get in. Obviously, at least one of them. I won't be getting both of them in, and it'll probably be for Zuma, but I'd probably be priced out from that move, so I would need to make another change elsewhere. So that's the dilemma that I have at the moment. That's why I have no City players at the moment, but they are good. Paul, you'll get the 2,000 subscribers, don't worry, good luck. Thank you so much. And yeah, my first goal was to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and we smashed that back in October, I believe. And yeah, unbelievable support, and we've gotten a lot of subscribers since then. Thank you everyone who's been tuning in, and yeah, just thank you everyone who's been just supporting the stream, and also those who tuned in the other day for UCL Fantasy. Remember, there's Champions League next week. I'll be doing another deadline stream on Tuesday for that. And if you lot want, let me know in the comment section and in the live chat. Do you want me to do live streams as soon as all the games are done, so I offer my raw thoughts and stuff like that? Let me know. I mean, I don't know what you could call it, but basically, yeah, we can offer all our initial thoughts in preview of Game Week 11 and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll just be going through these last comments. Do Among Us streams. Yes, they will be happening. I'll be doing some gaming streams. Booyah, Kasha. Oh, we don't need the face when your voice is awesome. Thanks, Undershot. I don't know about awesome, but thank you very much. Thanks for the stream, much appreciated. Thank you, Savage Mode, always commenting and always with good discussions. Kane might drop eventually as the season progresses, so Son is good, but have in a backup for him. Yeah, that's good. But to be honest, with Kane, yeah, you could get rid of him for the next few. You could have someone else who does just as well, if not better. But yeah, Kane is someone this season, it's just so hard to drop at the moment. That's how it is. The Monday after is always a good time for a stream. Yeah, all right, fair enough, Kieran. I'm definitely take that into account. And any feedback that you lot have, I will definitely be going into it. Late night fraudulent stream, as Hugh Izzy calls it. Yeah, another guy who watches Hugh Izzy. Yeah, that guy can be a joker at times, definitely. Triple Captain Malpai, Vice on Firmino. Wow. I mean, are you serious? I mean, if that works for you, then fair play. But that just seems so... I mean, I would never do that. I'm just telling you now. But then again, I triple captain Mane last season and he got 3 points for me. So, I mean, who am I to talk about triple captains? Not really that much. And 66 people have tuned in now. I mean, wow. I mean, I'll keep going. If there's more stuff in the chat, definitely. Wow, thank you so much for the support. Still going strong. Salah, my captain. Yeah, he's my captain as well. You know what? Hoping for a very good return from him. I had him pretty much set from, let's say, I don't know, Monday. Yeah, as soon as I could change the team, I made him my captain. And yep, the Game Week 10 deadline has now passed. Good luck. Good luck to you as well. And let's go. And wow, Mr. Kinster, really? Falklands, come on. Really, is there any need? Thoughts on Jotter? Yeah, I've been asked this before, and like I said, he's a great option. If you compare him even to Grealish and everyone else around his price, he completely smashes it. He's in a much better team as well. But the thing with Jotter is if you already have Salah or Mane, there's not as much need to get him in. But if he keeps starting and stuff like that, then yeah, I would definitely look at him. And you could even play 3-5-2. But I do like the 3-4-3 at the moment. There's a lot of options up front. It's hard to even, you know, I mean, ideally I'd want 4 or 5 strikers as well and 5 midfielders, but you just can't, unfortunately. I was in a dilemma over Dallas and Bednarek. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, maybe Bednarek is the better option out of those two, but Dallas has more attacking threat. So yeah, good luck with that. Would you have benched Son this week for Harvey Barnes versus Fulham? That is a tough one. I would never bench Son if I'm being honest. Barnes has a much better fixture, but I'm not sure. Hearing that De Bruyne has a hamstring injury. Well, I'm going to check that now, actually. Thanks for that. And yeah, just to answer your question, I wouldn't have benched Son for Harvey Barnes. I know Barnes has a great fixture, but no, I wouldn't have. Let me check this Kevin De Bruyne news because I heard nothing. And I looked at the City press conference or the notes on that. Yeah, I didn't see anything. I think he's fine. Yeah, where did you hear that? And I'd like to know. Thank you. But yeah, that would be bad news for those owners because there's not much you can do now. I mean, the deadline's already done. And what I always do, just so I'm not, you know, caught off guard, I'm actually going to be going onto my team for Game Week. I'm nearly losing count now. For Game Week 11. Let's see. Can I do that now? Oh, the game's being updated. I can't even do that now. Great. Fantastic. Fantastic, as Ollie would say. KDB's fine, yeah. Fake news. LT, FPL, gossip, fake news in the chats. Yeah, but to be fair, maybe they just got the wrong information. Maybe they're not trying to stir, you know, something like that. But either way, I respond to all comments. So, you know, if you're trying to lie to get attention or something, you know, there's no need. But I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he's trying to do that. Might Rashford start because I'm starting to regret it. Well, apparently Ollie today said that he is going to play, so I would be confident on that. But apart from that, I'm not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not Rashford. I'm not, someone involved at Manchester United. I can't tell you for sure, but I do think he's going to start. And if not, he's going to come off from the bench, which isn't obviously ideal. Can you show us your team? I mean, if I'm being honest right now, mate, I actually can't because the website is down. The game is being updated. But my team, I mean, I'll say it now. Next time, maybe I'll have a picture as well in store so that I can switch to that once the game is out. And oh, there. Oh, basically, I had Martinez in goal, Kilman, Chilwell, and Kufau in defence. Son, Bruno, Grealish, and Salah, who is my captain. Bruno's my vice captain. And up front, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, and Callum Wilson. Those are that's my team. And yeah, on my bench, Kyle Walker-Peters is my first substitute. Zuma's my second, which I know is quite ridiculous. And my third substitute is Basuma, who's probably going to stay there for the end of time. Bruno captain. I think Bruno's a good captaincy choice. And like I said, he's never blanked away from home. He's pretty much the best FPL asset since he's come to the Premier League. He's my vice captain. So yeah, if you captain them, that's a good decision, I think. Yeah, I did end up going with Son and start over Barnes as well. But I have a bad feeling about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who your other midfielders are or your defenders or strikers who you could have benched, but you know what? That's just maybe one of the cons of having such a good squad depth. If you have to bench someone like Barnes against Fulham. But you know what? At the end of the day, you might end up doing very well regardless. So I wish you all the best of luck. Hopefully you get those points that you want. I benched Reguilon and played Maupay. Good choice. Spurs play Chelsea away. To be honest, I always prefer the defender over the attacker. I prefer the attacker over the defender. Even though I don't like Maupay at all, I think that's probably the right thing to do. But we'll have to wait and see because Spurs this season have just been very good, especially in the big games. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I do agree with that choice. Now I was looking to bring him next week. KDB, yeah. Who do you see racking up more points between Bruno and KDB? Bruno. That's why I got him in. Obviously, between this period, so from now to Gameweek 22, KDB has far superior fixtures, and so maybe in that time he will outperform Bruno, but Bruno is cheaper, and I think over the course of the season, Bruno definitely will be the better option, in my opinion. I just hit Jimenez and Zaha out for Vardy and Jotter. An 8-point hit, though. Oof. I'll be honest, though. I did take a -8 hit earlier this season, and it paid off for the 3-4 game weeks afterwards. But I don't like taking them. I prefer taking -4 hits, and even then, I don't feel necessarily clean about doing that as well. I literally took a -8 for UCL Fantasy, if you play that, and it didn't go well. One of the players I took a hit for didn't even start, but hopefully that works out. I mean, you brought in some good players there on the hit. I mean, you got in Vardy and Jotter, and I think that's an upgrade on who you got rid of, even though Zaha, of course, you probably would have kept him if he was actually available. Anyone else captain Salah? I mean, I did. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there did. But this week is so balanced in terms of the captaincy options. There's Bruno, there's Salah, there's Vardy, even someone Mane. Some will even captain one of the Spurs guys. Maybe Ziyech or someone like that, although that's not as much of a popular pick. Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling. There's a lot of choices this week, and it makes it more interesting when there's so many choices. Captaincy on Vardy, yeah, good luck on the shot. That's a very, very good captaincy shout. Captain Bruno as well. I don't have KDB or Vardy. Damn. Well, to be honest, I don't have KDB or Vardy either. You probably have Salah and the likes of them as well. So, yeah, I think captaining Bruno could be very, very good. I mean, he's got two double-digit returns on the bounce. So, yeah. Vardy captain, another one of Vardy captain. He seems to be a very popular pick this week, and for good reason. I had to bench Romeu for Rodriguez. If you're talking about Oriol Romeu, then yeah, that's fine. Rodriguez is a much better option, even though I'm not really trusting him that much. It's crazy how Salah's a differential now. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the one good thing you could say about him getting COVID. Obviously, that's not a good thing, but you know what I mean. Trying to look at the bright side here. And the fact that his ownership has gone down so much, it makes it more interesting as well, because people like Calvert-Lewin, 60% owned by the game. Even Son, close to 60%. Kane as well, 50% owned by the game. You would want a bit more variety between the players. And Bruno's ownership now has skyrocketed, and I'm one of those people who jumped on the bandwagon, per se. But yeah, Salah didn't look at the races in the last game. That's true. But then again, Liverpool didn't either. And Salah's had more time to train now. And Salah isn't necessarily one who needs to train that much. I'm not going to compare him to Messi, but it reminds me of that, where he doesn't need to train that much to have a big impact on the weekend. I'm not too concerned about that, because if you think about basically the whole season so far, Liverpool kept a clean sheet in every single Champions League game before the Atalanta game midweek, and they couldn't translate that to the Premier League. So it's a different competition, you're facing different teams, different circumstances. So I wouldn't be too worried, but I understand your concern though, definitely. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm not really too bothered about that. What are we all having for dinner, lads? I'm not too sure. I think spaghetti. That's for me anyway. But yeah, I do love Italian food. Taco. Oof, undershot. Yeah, tacos. I mean, yeah, as soon as they open Taco Bell again here, and I'm not trying to be woke, I'm not trying to, impress people, as Antonio would say, but yeah, I'm looking to go there. What about Bamford? Like I said, with Bamford, maybe I should have gone with him over Wilson for Ings, but at the end of the day, why not? I mean, I might get him in very soon. Like I said, he just gets so many chances. He's playing in one of the best defensive teams in the league. The only thing about him is he's a bit wasteful, but he's 6 million and he's still doing so well. Vardy or KDB, who do I captain? I mean, the deadline has already passed. I would have said Vardy, but both of them great options. People who sold Salah are in for a world of hurt, potentially, but yeah, maybe not this week, but maybe in the long term it will happen. The game is being updated, you can't make any changes yet. Last year, the deadline was 1 hour before the game, but because of team news and stuff like that, they have changed it to 1 hour 30 minutes before the actual game starts. So yeah, there's no way of knowing, and also it's half an hour before the lineups are announced and stuff like that. So there's no more advantages per se in the FPL community. Lawful, do a food review. I mean, I don't know about food review. I've seen some great food reviews in the past, and yeah. But if I ever do that, then I'll let you guys know. What's your opinion on Jotter playing? I think he will play, but he's not someone I can guarantee that will play for sure. Anyone keeping Son and Kane? I mean, I'm keeping both of them. I'm keeping both of them if that's anything to go by. Do you have a mini league, and what is your overall rank? My overall rank at the moment is, I think, 166k. And I have a private league, but I have no public league at the moment. And when I do, I will be letting you guys know in future videos, and you lot can join and stuff like that. And we can, can do shout-outs as well in videos and see who's been doing very well. But yeah, are you looking to bringing Ings back immediately after his return then? Or are you planning to wait out a bit? I am planning to wait out a bit, but the problem with that is that his fixtures are phenomenal from game week 11 onwards. So I actually might get him in again, but I would preferably want to see at least a game week or two. And Ings is very injury prone, which did put me off getting him originally last season. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he's back fit and no more injury problems. He's a fantastic player. But yeah, I trust him more than Wilson. And I know there's a big gap between the prices for those players. But yeah, Ings is a great player, one of the best in the Premier League. Is it okay that I use my wildcard? I mean, it depends who you had in your wildcard, but yeah, whenever someone asks me should I use my wildcard, it's very dependent on your situation and on your team. But yeah, it could work out very well for you. The only thing I will say is that this season, even with the top FPL managers, they've struggled a lot to get the right wildcard because yeah, it's just such a difficult season to predict, and maybe holding it this season was the best thing to do. I mean, I didn't. I played it quite early in game week 6, I believe. I don't regret it too much. I do like my team overall now. But yeah, there are times where I do wish I still had it. Hopefully your wildcard pays off. Planning on bringing Salah in for the Fulham game? Yeah, definitely. If you got rid of him last week, then yeah, bringing him back for the Fulham game makes most sense. And a lot of people are going to be getting rid of Bruno again to get Salah in. And to be honest, I would try to have both. And then when people want to fit in a City player as well, and then keep Son, and then, or maybe they want Ziyech, it's just so hard. There's so many options. There's Grealish as well. So yeah, just I think pick 4 midfielders and stick to them. And if you're planning to get Salah back, then yeah, maybe it is worth getting him in for Bruno, but I don't know. It's very hard to get him back in. I mean, he is so expensive, but fantastic player, and he can't do any wrong, really. That's how I see it. I'm subscribing to you. Thank you, Zaki. Thank you so much. And yeah, tune in for further live. I can't even speak now. For future live streams and also for future content. I'll be doing previews and stuff like that for Game Week 11 during the week, and also for UCL Fantasy if you do play that. So check that out. Also some gaming streams coming along soon. I used to do them as well. Digne's out. How will that affect Everton and DCL, you think? I think it will affect DCL slightly. That's a very good point you raise. Something I didn't mention. Because from the left-hand side, Digne is so good. If you look at this season, how many goals Lewin has scored from Digne cutting it back across to either Richarlison or to Lewin. It's a great amount of times, and that's why a lot of people had Digne in, and he did very well last week, getting 2 assists. It's a big shame that he is out, and that does affect DCL, but the new wing-back system that Everton have, and I did talk about this in my Gameweek 10 preview the other day, it's very beneficial, it seems, and Iwobi's actually playing very well on the right-hand side, and with Coleman out as well, they need that. They need those players. Maybe they're going to put, I don't know, maybe someone like Gordon back in there, I'm not sure, but Everton do have options, although they don't look as good, obviously, now without Digne, unfortunately. I heard there is a tournament that starts Game Week 16. Yeah, there is the Cup, and basically you'll be paired up against someone random. You have to be in the top 4 million, I believe, to even qualify for the Cup. And yeah, you'll basically be facing someone random, and if you get more points than them, it's a bit like a head-to-head league. If you get more points, you go through, and if not, you go out. And I remember last season I was doing very well in it, but I took a -20 on 1 week. Don't ask me why, and I lost, obviously. I mean, you can't be that bad to lose to someone on a -20. Yeah, let me just go through some last questions. Yeah, thank you, Undershot, for watching. Ziyech out for De Bruyne next week. Yeah, you know what? I like Ziyech a lot, and he's probably better value for money than De Bruyne, but that does make sense, to be fair. Mr. Kinsler, you hopping on PlayStation today? Yeah, I will let you know if I do. Definitely. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for tuning in so much, Mr. Kinsler. I know you're not really that interested in this sort of stuff. Is a double up on Spurs assets a risk, considering fixtures? It is a risk, but it's also a risk to get rid of them, if you think about it that way. I think, though, definitely don't get rid of both of them. That's my opinion. At least keep one of them, and it's up to you. Who do you think is more, valuable to you and in that position? But you know what? I would prefer having both of them than having none of them. That's my answer to you. But everyone has a different opinion, and if Spurs start to regress, then I will probably change my mind. I mean, I'm not going to just, think the exact same thing a week or two from now than what I do now. It depends on what happens in the next few games. DCL for Antonio in 3 game weeks. To be honest, I would not get rid of Calvert-Lewin at all, in my opinion. But, yeah, like you said, the fixtures do take a turn, but Calvert-Lewin is just such a great player. I think he's fixture-proof. And he is potentially a season keeper. It depends on if he stays fit and if Everton, continue to be so good defensively, and if he's just as sharp as he has been. But yeah, Antonio is a great choice, and he could be a great differential. But I really like Calvert-Lewin. What can I say? I'm going to get going. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you, Gaming Now. And yeah, I'm just overwhelmed. I mean, nearly 70 people again still watching, and it's nearly been half an hour since the deadline has passed. So thank you so much. And I can't even show you my team now because I'm locked out of FPL at the moment because they're updating the game, and I think it updates around 7 o'clock. But good luck to all of you, and thank you all so much for tuning in, and no hiccups today with the stream. I know there were a few, not last week, it was only a few days ago, on Tuesday for UCL Fantasy, and thank you to all who have tuned in on both days. I really appreciate the support. There will be more live streams coming along, and like I said, let me know, do you want to have even more live streams? So one after all the Premier League games are done, let me know. And like you've seen here, I respond or try to respond to every single question, whether it's in the comment section or in the live chat. But thank you so much. And like I said, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and share this video around with those you know. But I'm just going to say again, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.